Welcome to 100 Days of Trailhead, where the tech community comes to learn Salesforce, learn tech, get inspired, and invest in ourselves. We are your trail guides, here to support you on your learning journey. We release videos weekly. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss a video. In the description below, you can find links for everything we mention in this video, as well as books and resources we found useful. Visit our blog, 100daysoftrailhead.com, for other helpful Salesforce and tech content. Do you have tons of duplicates in your org? Is dirty data messing up your reporting? In this video, Justice Sikakane is discussing the importance of deduplication and some deduplication approaches. Justice joined Hennepin Theater Trust in 2018. As the Director of IT, he oversees the strategy and execution of activities supporting infrastructure and applications that enable and drive the overarching business strategy and goals. Your quest, should you choose to take it, is to journey with us while we explore how to deduplicate your org. Your quest begins now.
Why the heck deduplication? So what we're going to go through today is the importance and the value associated with deduplication, why I learned through experience that developing a subject matter expertise in this realm as a Salesforce admin during my experience with going through and understanding the merits associated with deduplication, why this is key and why this is essential for all Salesforce orgs. So quick introduction, Justice Sikakane. I work for Hennepin Theater Trust, Director of IT there today, and also Salesforce Product Owner. My self-claim to fame as it relates to this subject matter today is being able to merge over 9,000 records in Salesforce that spanned across several objects. So jumping right in. So what is deduplication? I was thinking, how did I want to explain this in a way that was succinct and pretty straightforward, but very relevant to this particular ecosystem? So Google says the elimination of duplicate or redundant information, especially in computer data. So for the purpose of this discussion, we'll replace computer with Salesforce. And when you think about the data that comes into Salesforce, be it through integrations, be it through manual inputs, whatever that looks like, you want to ensure that the data that's in Salesforce is clean. And then it's aligned and that it's accurate. So it creates a 360 lens. So I'm going to give a scenario during my beginning stages as a Salesforce admin to just kind of lay into and tee up why this is an important conversation and why it matters. So I used to work for a pretty large, sizable organization based out of Minnesota here, one of the larger privately held companies in the US. And as a part of that, I was hired on as a systems analyst, eventually moved on to become a Salesforce admin, and configuration developer is what my title was at the time. One of the things that was a reality of this organization that I worked for is that we had 10 to 12 orgs at the time, spanning anywhere from 300 to over 5,000 users in the respective orgs. So I'm going to talk about our largest org today. Our largest org, as I had mentioned previously, had over 5,000 users. So one of the things that I had learned is that our sales team obviously was reflected in Salesforce across accounts, and they collaborated with various other departments that were reflected within what was defined as an account team. So when you think about how a customer or an account record comes to full beneficial fruition, you're tracking everything, all the related objects, all the the related lists, all the fields, custom and standard within that account record. You want to ensure reflect all things in relation to that customer. So at this organization, we had enterprise customers and we also had smaller size customers. So the example I'm going to give is we had a scenario in which one of our account owners, we called them, this is escaping me right now, but essentially the person that oversaw the account, the person that was the key person representative for that account was also the account owner in Salesforce. So we would oftentimes request these other departments that I had mentioned that were on the account team to reflect within Salesforce their conversations through activities and all information in relation to that particular customer in Salesforce. Well, what would happen is that these folks would go into Salesforce, they would go to the global search at the top, they would look, for example, Coca-Cola. They would type in Coca-Cola, the first one that came up, they would click on it, and then they would then add their notes or whatever emails or activities that were associated to that account. The account owner would then go into that customer and then see that if so-and-so from the sustainability department or marketing department met with Coca-Cola and they didn't see that note or they didn't see that activity, they were confused. So they would come back to that team, that person would say, I did put it in there. Then they would come to me. I would look, and obviously, lo and behold, there are 40 iterations of Coca-Cola within Salesforce. That's a huge issue. So what subsets of data are we missing? And that's that duplicate data in Salesforce, that be it whether somebody created an account because they couldn't find Coca-Cola in Salesforce, or some sort of integration occurred in which Coca-Cola was created multiple times for whatever reason as a part of a data upload. Whatever that scenario looks like, we had to understand how we were going to get all that data, because those respective accounts were housing data that was relevant to supporting this 360 customer lens. So fast forward to today, when I joined my current organization as the director of IT, we had a similar thing, but now I'm working for a nonprofit. So I started evaluating the various solutions out there. We decided to go with Ringlead's DMS solution. Part of the reason that sold me on Ringlead's DMS solution was due to the fact that they created a solution that in a very digestible manner, explained to me what I was going to be getting out of their product. So within DMS, you have cleanse, you have prevent, you have enrich, and you have route. For the purpose of this discussion, we're just going to talk about cleanse and the sub features that come as a part of supporting deduplication. So within cleanse of the DMS product, what we're looking at is when you're deduplicating data in Salesforce, you're doing it based on defining logic that supports the merging of records. And the way you can do this is based on based on strict or fuzzy logic. So an example might be first name exact, last name exact, and or email fuzzy. So when you look at Justice Sikakane, if you find a duplicate record in Salesforce and it says Justice Sikakane, that would hit the matching criteria of first and last name to say that, hey, there's a contact, notify me, and then give me the opportunity to merge the two, while also bringing in the data from the record that will go away, cease to exist, into the record going forward. One of the things that we were able to achieve after I had merged what ended up becoming 9,000 plus records is, how do we sustain this? How do we not get back to a place of duplication being an issue and something that I would then need to go back and continuously launch sizable efforts to merge thousands of records? Well, there's something within cleanse called normalizing and standardizing your data and segmenting it. The reason why this was so essential for me to understand the value of it was because normalizing your data is all about saying, okay, what are the consistent field definitions, and subsequently, what are the consistent value inputs? So an example might be, if I am creating a report in Salesforce based on filtered criteria to, let's just use an example. Let's say Justice Sikakane of Stillwater, Minnesota is a director of IT. Aaron McGriff of Woodbury, Minnesota is a director of IT. Let's say my boss wants to go into Salesforce, or let's say he's the head of sales, wants to go into Salesforce and run a report that says, show me all of the directors within the geographical area of Minnesota, directors of IT. Well, if I'm defined in Salesforce as the director of IT, spelt out director in Stillwater, and Aaron is DR of IT in Woodbury, and my boss goes in and looks for the director fully spelled out, he's going to miss the subset of the individuals in Salesforce that have a different definition associated with how they're classified in Salesforce. So normalization goes through and creates that consistent alignment of how individuals are reflected in Salesforce from a data perspective. So now when I go and create these aesthetically pleasing dashboards based on reports that your Salesforce admin would have created or supported in creating, you're knowing that you're not missing subsets of data. And also, because of the merging of records through the deduplication, the records that did cease to exist that are now coming into the lasting records are also encompassing all of that historical data that might have been a part of, as I used the previous example, someone on the sustainability or the marketing team of an overall account team was going into the wrong account, but we didn't lose all of that data because as a part of the merge effort in supporting deduplication, we brought over those historical data points and we merged them onto the going forward record. So what have we learned from this as an organization? Trusted data after it's integrated, trusted reporting and dashboards, and consistent approach with manually inputting data. Because we know what we know now, we don't want to go back to being in a situation where we're dealing with duplicate data. Thank you.
And with that, we're at the end. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button so we know what content is most helpful to you. What tip on deduplication was new for you? We also want to hear what topics you want us to cover in future videos. We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Since you've made it to this point, we want to take an opportunity to say thank you. Since you've stayed with us, here's a bonus. Salesforce offers standard duplicate rule functionality that works amazingly well. To dive deeper into cleaning your data, purchase the book, Data Cleaning. The link is in the description below. Happy learning. Thank you for spending time with us. Please like and subscribe to our channel because we share weekly content to support your tech and Salesforce learning journey. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss a new video. We also handpick these videos which we recommend you watch next. Connect with us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and on 100daysoftrailhead.com, all of which are listed below. Thank you for learning with us, and we'll see you back tomorrow.